when GOLDBOD was set up, well, there was one concern that came up, and one of the concerns that came up was that people will find other means of selling the gold outside of this country in order for them to rake in some more revenue or to make some more money. But it appears that our state, agencies or security agencies are up to task, and I've been impressed. I've seen a story in today's Daily Guide that says NACOC hands over $1.7 million seized gold to GOLDBOD. I want us to briefly look at this and then we can go to Boku. Now, the story here says that the Narcotics Control Commission, NACOC, has handed over 17 gold bars valued at $1.7 million to the Ghana Gold Board at the Ministry of the Interior in Accra. The gold bars were seized by officers of the Upper East Command of the Narcotics Control Commission at the Paga border, Paga border post.
Wow.
From 2 Burkinabe nationals. We talked about this.
Yeah, loose borders.
Yeah. That the Paga border post from 2 Burkinabe nationals who were attempting to smuggle them out of the country. So in the past, all these things would have gone out and nobody would have accounted for it. Now, the 2 nationals have also been charged with gold offenses relating to transportation and dealing in gold. Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, assured the management of GOLDBOD of the ministry's continued support and backing for GOLDBOD's efforts to manage Ghana's gold resources. The Chief Executive Officer of GOLDBOD, Sammy Gyamfi, expressed gratitude to the Director General of NACOC for the successful handover and called for continued support and collaboration between various security agencies to enable the GOLDBOD to succeed. The handing over ceremony was witnessed by the Chief Director of the Ministry, Doreen Annan, Director General of the NACOC, Brigadier General Maxwell Obuba Mante, and other senior officials from NACOC and the GOLDBOD. And let me pick your thoughts on the moment. What do you make of this? Because you've been very concerned about the porosity of our borders, and
but this is a very refreshing story. That our officers at our borders have managed to apprehend these 2 individuals who were trying to smuggle gold out of this country to the tune of $1.7 million. The GOLDBOD seemed to be the game changer in our national governance architecture. It is making a lot of impact within the economy of this country. Whether you like it or not, the GOLDBOD, from where I sit, is at the center of the stabilization of our local currency. And once the local currency is stabilized, you can be sure that all other factors will fall in line. For instance, when the cedi is appreciating against the dollar, you will have our national debt stock, debt to GDP coming down. We will need to mobilize less cedis to be able to pay for our foreign debts. And it also reflects,
especially the dollar-denominated ones.
Exactly, the external debts, because you will need to mobilize taxes in Ghana cedis to be able to purchase some forex to service those debts. And so you see that once the cedi is stabilized, it affects other parts of the ecosystem. We have seen inflation trend downwards, producer price index trending downwards. All of this is largely as a result of the gains that we are making in protecting our gold resources. Sammy Gyamfi, the CEO of GOLDBOD, with the minister responsible for natural resources, they are doing a very good job, and we can only commend them and commend Honorable Ato Forson, the finance minister. I have always said that, looking at the gains that we have made, President Mahama, who thought of the GOLDBOD, would deserve a special state honor for thinking out of the box to institute the Ghana GOLDBOD. That is running on the same lines just as we have the cocoa board running. Sometimes you ask yourself why we haven't done this all along. And it takes somebody with vision, somebody with experience, like President Mahama, to come up with such a noble idea. I've heard our colleagues in the NPP try to attribute the cedi stabilization to what they call gold for oil. The Honorable Minister Ato Forson has told us clearly that he has perused all the documents at the ministry and the Bank of Ghana. There was no one instance where we exchanged our gold for oil. What happened in the past, even though they said gold for oil, they still sold the oil, get foreign currency, and then go ahead to buy the oil. In fact, records show at the Bank of Ghana that transactions within that space resulted in a loss of about 1.8 billion US dollars loss that our country recorded in the so-called gold for oil. That was being operated in some level of opacity. You didn't know those who were buying the oil from the gold from Ghana. You didn't know at what rate they were selling them. All that we heard from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was gold for oil. The details we never had. That is not how to run a transparent governance. It was wrong and it is still wrong. What we do is to make sure that nobody, no individual would be able to export gold on his own. Whatever gold you mobilize within our economy, you must sell that to the Ghana Gold Board. And then the Ghana Gold Board will now be able to export the gold, ensure that all the foreign currency accruing, resulting from the sale of the gold, would be brought back to this country. Because when people export the gold on their own and they go and sell them in foreign currency, they don't bring almost all the money back to Ghana. Maybe just a small percentage would come back to Ghana, and they'll use the remaining forex to probably acquire properties in other jurisdictions. And so it is a responsible way of ensuring that we benefit from our gold reserves. Data would show in the past that we earn far less than what the international institutions recorded. So for instance, when Bank of Ghana is recording 3-4 billion Ghana cedis as earnings from gold, you have Dubai and other jurisdictions quoting around 7-8 billion Ghana cedis, dollars. And so clearly, a lot of our gold were being smuggled out of this country. That didn't inure to the benefit of this country. And so I think that, look, but what I want to agree, I've heard some critics say that we must look even beyond the gold board. We would need to re-engineer the economy well. We will need to do a lot of import substitution, expand our export base. That is more long-lasting. But short-term to medium-term, gold board is doing the trick. Look, the gold will continue to be with us. It's not as if it is a product that will run out of in the next 5-10 years. That is not the case. Of course, the volatilities in the pricing of the gold in the international market would serve as a threat. And I'm sure the Minister for Finance and the Gold Board are watching the signals. They are monitoring the international gold price. Today, I have forgotten what the price was quoted for the gold this morning, but I think it is doing quite well. You never know if in the next 5 to 6 years, gold prices would go down. And so we must be making some plans to cover for ourselves in the event that gold prices drop. We don't determine those prices. Gold, cocoa, and oil. These are our major exports, our traditional exports. We don't control the prices. And so there must be some plans to cushion the economy in the unlikely event that prices take a dip. Of course, we can also increase the quantum of gold.
The current global spot price for gold is around $3,281.
$3,281.
Yes.
That is quite good. And so we must be watching. There are threats anyway. Like I said, the world market, world price of those commodities serves as a threat. If we expand our export base, and that's why President Mahama wants to lead the something that has to do with export expansion. I've forgotten the nomenclature that is captured, but there's a special drive for expanding our exports, and that committee or commission would be led by His Excellency the President himself. The 24-hour economy And the Farmer Service Center that we intend to do would also deal with the issue of import substitution. Things that we can produce in this country, we should be able to produce them so that we don't use so much forex in importing even toothpicks. And so when people don't understand the 24-hour economy, even if we were to get a young man to concentrate on just doing toothpicks, at least we'll stop importing toothpicks from other countries. The last time I was talking to someone who lives with me, Adime.
Okay.
There's now an imported ayoyo. Can you believe this?
Really?
And I'm told that our women prefer the imported one than the
locally produced.
So whilst we are still battling with this, from where? I don't know. I think from Togo.
Very strange.
Yes, Adime, ayoyo.
Yeah.
So we're still battling with the issue of tomato that we import from neighboring Sahelian countries, Burkina, in billions of Ghana cedis. Onions we import, and now ayoyo too. Adime, we are importing that one too into this country, and so we must put a stop to that taste for everything non-Ghanaian, and so not just from the US or from EU. We even prefer ayoyo from Togo to that one that we produce in Ghana here. Can you believe this? And so there must be a deliberate attempt, and that is where the Farmer Service Center comes in, where President Mahama promises to provide equipment for our farmers, mechanized agriculture, so that we can boost production within the agricultural space, add value to what we can add value to, so that at least we would tone down on the levels of importation that we are doing. And so once you are dealing with import substitution and you are expanding your export base, there's no way your currency will not be stabilized. And so there's a long-term approach to dealing with it. GOLDBOD is doing very well. We understand the not just criticisms, but the suggestions, the recommendations that look, medium term to long term, let us work on the restructuring of our Ghanaian economy. President Akufo-Addo, before he became president, talked about Gaggisberg economy. He left us with more Gaggisberg economy than he inherited. And so President Mahama is being deliberate and intentional about stabilizing the foreign currency, the local currency. Today, why? Our colleagues are talking about fuel. Today, a liter of fuel, I know where I buy my fuel. A liter doesn't go beyond 12 Ghana cedis, right? Even with the 1 cedi levy that we impose to deal with the energy sector issues. Just in recent past under the NPP, a liter of petrol and diesel went for 16 and 17 Ghana cedis. So even with the 1 Ghana cedi that is meant to deal with the issue of the power subsector, we are still paying far less than we're paying under the NPP. Today, if you are doing foreign transaction, dollar goes for 10.4 Ghana cedis. The euro goes for 12.6 Ghana cedis. I have a friend who did some transactions just last week. And so if you want to do transaction, it is genuine. If you have all your documentation, you won't buy the dollar more than 10.4. I have experienced it. It's working all right. Our colleagues try to, the Honorable Anta, Deputy, the immediate past minister for finance, he says something, the cedi no get what, but Abuchi get the dollar. If you choose to do your transactions that you don't want to be captured by the banking sector, and you want to buy from Abuchi at 12.3, that is your matter. But I have done transactions through the banking system. Just last week, 10.2 Ghana cedis for $1. Euro 12.61. Very, very clear. So we know where we are taking this country to. Okay. We have done just in 6 months what others couldn't do in 8 years. Today, they pontificate on all the issues. Today, they have all the issues to Galamsey. They have all the answers to economy. They have all the answers to the cedi. Meanwhile, the mandate was with you for good 8 years. You couldn't do anything about it. Okay. And today, you proffer solutions for everything in this country. This is the way they will talk, and when they give them the mandate. You remember when we were about going to elections, we were told that when we told them about the cedi and the dollar around 17 Ghana cedis, Abuaji, the spokesperson for your colleague who was Miracles, he said if the NDC was to be in power, the dollar would have gone for 25 Ghana cedis. I'm sure you remember that.
Yes. He said it, yeah.
He said
it. A fact, yes.
Today, the dollar is going for 10.2 under President Mahama. And they say, oh, no. They are reaping our efforts. We actually started the whole thing. Go for oil. You told us that under President Mahama, it would have been 25 Ghana cedis. Ghanaians rejected you and gave President Mahama the mandate. Today, the dollar is going for 10.2 Ghana cedis. And you want to share in the credit. You can't share in the credit because you were given a mandate. And Ghanaians saw what you did to the Ghanaian city. Who will make that mistake again to bring somebody who will come in as an economist, and when he's given a mandate, he'll be scrambling for space within the ICT sector.